nobody can help you understand the difference you're making by being here tonight and by supporting Maria and John's campaign than Maddie. So I would love to pass it over to her.
Good evening. My name is Maddie Sargent. I'm here today to talk to you about cancer. Cancer has affected everybody here in some way. You probably look at me and think I'm too young for cancer to have affected me, but you would be wrong. Cancer did affect me in a very big way. 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with leukemia. Hearing I had leukemia didn't even really bother me until I found out it was cancer. I remember my parents sitting with me in the emergency room when one of the nurses said the word cancer and said leukemia. I yelled, "No, I don't want cancer," and I started crying. I was scared because I knew my grandma died of cancer. Then I made a decision for myself. I decided I was not going to be scared of cancer, and I was not going to have it anymore. I told everyone right then that I was as tough as nails and that I was going to kick leukemia right in the tail. My dad said, "Yes, you will." I always try to be positive, but sometimes it was hard. Well, leukemia did not go away with the chemos, it just kept coming back. We always knew when it would come back because my legs would start to hurt again and I would not be able to walk. But I was determined and didn't let that stop me. I used to crawl with my elbows to get places because I didn't want anyone to carry me, but I still wanted to go to those places. I remember how bad the medicines always were. Sometimes the nurses would come into my hospital room and give me chemo. They came dressed all in gowns, hats, and masks, and the only thing I could see were their eyes. I felt uncomfortable because they were putting the chemo in my body, but they were just like that so the chemo wouldn't hurt their skin. I didn't understand how those chemos could help me but hurt the nurses. I remember when my hair started to fall out. We had already gotten it cut shorter, but I told my mom that I just wanted to be bald. She took me to the salon and they made me bald. I looked pretty cute with a bald head and I got to wear lots of hats. And I remember wishing I could go to school and go back to cheerleading and see my friends, but I wasn't allowed because I could get sick too easily. I remember the doctor telling my parents to call my family because he thought the leukemia was going to beat me. Then I remember my grandpa driving his Harley all the way here from Ohio, even through the mountains, so I could have one more Harley ride before my transplant. And I remember being scared of the MRI machine. I also remember lots of surgeries, needles, and pokes. And after a while, getting poked didn't even really bother me anymore. Then there was the week that I had to get radiation before my transplant. It was a little scary because I was locked in this big room all by myself. But the doctor had a radio player in that room and he let me sing along with my favorite music while I was getting radiation. I even made my mom sing to me over the microphone. She doesn't sing very well, so everybody was laughing. And I remember the day that my doctor said that he didn't think the transplant would work for me, but he wanted to try it anyway. And I remember the same doctor doing a DNA test on me about a month after the transplant. He told me he couldn't find any of my cancer. I was so excited I got happy tears. I also remember my doctor jumping up and down with me when my cells started to engraft after my transplant and I started to get better. The hospital was not fun at all, but the nurses made it better. I had a karaoke machine in my room, so Ashley and I made tickets and the nurses came to our concerts and clapped for us. When I was having trouble walking, I made pot holders to keep busy. The nurses saw me making them and asked if they could have one. Pretty soon, I had lots of orders for pot holders. Now I do mean lots. Nurses, doctors, family members, and people I didn't even know were writing and asking for a Maddie special pot holder because they said I was inspiring to them. I remember finally being able to go back to school with my regular class. I was so happy that day. I remember a lot of things from the time in my life. some good and some bad things. Although some good things happen to me, I don't want other kids to have the same memories I do. Kids shouldn't know some of the things I know or do some of the things that I've done. That's why I'm here today. I believe God and the doctors work together to save me so I can make a difference to help others. We need more money to create more effective treatments and cures. And by donating today, you are literally saving a child's life. I am alive because of the research that came before me, and it's my mission to keep more people alive because of research happening today and tomorrow. Please help me make it possible for others not to have the same memories that I do. Thank you for listening.